We stay in our homes.
A new day, a new event. Old actors meet new ones, and a fresh twist adds up to the old subplot. Something unexpected blows up. The grass suffers and the ground shakes. It turns on pressing issues. Dicey every Monday to we're always watching.
That's why.
No, you can do without that bribe. You know you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be 3 FM. We implore you to do better. We love you.
A new day, a new event. Old actors meet new ones, and a fresh twist adds up to the old subplot. And the grass together, the main attitude to the Situation Room with Tᴏɪᴛᴜ Accommodation Room. We are always.
Well, a lovely 98.3 FM. The sound or issue, whatever the case is, as long as it is worthy of highly engaging and thought-provoking, because of a scuffle that existed between a union. CNG bosses be unionized. Again, I'd like to emphasize that is so pleased, but that is not the primary that we're having. We're talking about the impact of unionism in Nigeria. Are unions necessary? Or benefits to having today. Now, unionism, of course, in the service union, which was supposed to advocate for workers of union activism. I'm talking from as far back as the day of a flashpoint, if I should call it that, in the back of people that they claim to primarily focusing on a union, not at all. We're talking about union this time, and that is why we would join, or our guests, will join us via the phone to make landscape, and we would be talking about unions' rights vitality of the Nigeria labor with him, and which is why we sort of start. He's able to join the conversation. I just wanted to lay the proper foundation so that you know effective these trade unions have been. Have they been able to defend in their pockets instead of defending from somebody who's at Congress? It's unionism in Nigeria with the new reality of what's happening within
that the trade union movement, each system, each structure, each style of engagement are all evolving as society. As metamorphosis, they evolve in behavior and they evolve phase to beguile the time you have to capacity available within the union and in organizing new areas that are beginning to be part of the trade union movement. The butchers, the power holders are also organizing themselves into unions. And they are, and as technology evolves, and automation and AI and all of this, there are advantages and disadvantages of this have evolved to have increased in number. And so you ask the other question, asking like, why is it important to be alive? I will tell you for free that without a trade union existing, that is the unfortunate of the trade union movement that led to the from the ILO convention. ILO, as a tripartite sells its labor power, it's not a commodity as treated in the world of war. And it's protected because without fairness in the world of war, what you have is a of workers to project and promote the interest of workers that many people do not know about. So the trade union movement is one of the how do I put it now? And I'm scared in allowing society to not just the world of war.
Conversation like that and to defend the right of to ensure that they are okay and they hardly pay attention to the rights of the picture.
Of the people, the workers, are the workers themselves. Are the workers themselves. It is not operational weapon. When you decide to follow another path, they say, they are lukewarm, they have been bought. All those ones are rubbish. That is the truth. The truth is that I will tell you for free that it is not work.
Mr. Onyeka, I'm glad you've independent individuals who have said things like anytime the unions find themselves handling issues that and they fight so hard, but sometimes they are actually fighting for. Oh, what are your thoughts?
Some people will sit down and imagine that that is exactly what if the trade union movement, people from where I live, because I don't have the capacity to bring them to Abuja, because there is no huge amount they are talking about. I live in one room, and so do I look like somebody that has been so they believe that this is what these people have done. We are no government. I don't have any the masses. And when we...
All right. Well, the connection has that we're having at the moment. This is the situation, Ramon, economic landscape. What has happened? And can unions have been bought? Who's the assistant? We had a brief connection issue there.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you have taken. You call off different groups that way. And so when, for example, you 5 naira, and at the end of the day, what you should do. So if the people that you have gone to go and meet somebody over your demands, and the person has refused to give you, and then you go and see continue with the strike, no. As a rest for negotiation, I have been involved in all about any of them. And now, as agreement, what? And so you find out that the problem we're having in the universities, now, they are all members of activists of the Labour Congress. Have grenades. What we have is our collective voice, and use our mother to shoot them and compel them. We use our people. Anybody is expecting us to probably use a frigate or use a fighter jet to protect the interest, continue to ensure that we will continue in 1-year anniversary of the arrest to go to London. We have been paying this crisis not because of any other thing, but because...
Said so far, it would sound like the agreement has been reached, and those who have promised authority, do you really have to ensure implementation? Or because so far, the protest 9, and up until now, the majority of those agreements have not...
Yeah, we have the people that action that have to be taken by the civil society. And when you ask about the kind of, what kind of power do we have? We don't have armored cars. We don't have bombs. What we have is a collective voice at different levels, which is what we have been saying. To act on agreement. Federal government are also facing federal government to do the right thing. These mechanisms will also determine most of the time whether they will, instead of remaining on the street. The Labour Party was formed. The Labour Party was formed so as to make progress together. We are in the majority. We are the people. We are the power. When we recognize that we are the conscious responsible, who not pleading with Nigerians, so the party scratch out responsibility through this, so that we can restore order and restore sanity to our
member. A union leader was assaulted in Owerri, and entire assault was politicized. And so, is it possible to make sure that these unions maintain independence from political influence politicians?
That is why I raised that issue. It is of being owed ethical. If minimum wage, the government, is it political? If gratuities have not been paid, is it political? If the chairman is political. You see, but because we have failed in asking the right questions, have the money, they now get the journalists to begin to buy into that, and that people will begin to defend them. But the truth is that it was not governor of Kebbi State who was then a deputy.
I think he's getting a call. That's why it continues to... we're live on Facebook and on YouTube, so do well to join the conversation online. The live stream on Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM. My conversation is with are too involved in politics, and so they are not able to function. We got disconnected again.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yes, please go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so you find out that when the picture that is not true to cover up. President of Congress goes and privilege of workers in Nigeria. If the president had refused to go to the state, people would accuse if he was working with the government. That would have been politics. But because he refused, the general police was in nowhere. When that happened, he was in nowhere. It was before his presence that it happened. So, I would tell this one also in Nigeria. Have a leader involved in politics. Brazil, in Brazil.
This is a problem. This is definitely a problem. But so we resolve this once and for all, so we don't keep doing this. As a socio-economic landscape, we're talking about with how unions can function in the country, and we're here talking to a union leader who, if people are allowed an opportunity to not join unions, yes, that if a person doesn't join part of their union, we want to see what their mindset is regarding.
The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes.
A new day, a new event. Old actors meet new ones. Here, we bring together the main actors to take their turns on pressing issues, dissecting events by day from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.
Welcome back and thank you. We're talking about the impact of unionism in Nigeria. How far your patience. Before we got disconnected, I was going to ask you a question around the rights that workers have to join or not join a union. But there's also the counter argument that notion. So talk to us as a worker, say about the.
I'll say one thing very, very. Nigerian Labour Congress and the trade unions in Nigeria are not forcing anybody to join a union. They are not forcing. We are governed by the Trade Union Act and the Labour. The law is very clear on that. The tankers are forcing workers to join what they call the registered unions. You must join this one we have created. That is fraudulent, that is illegal, that is unacceptable. The workers they will employ to join a company union, the ones we call yellow union, which is illegal. In fact, it's illegal. And that, if you look at the document that was signed, clearly stated that no employer, clear. So why we are not saying that you must be part of us? Okay, we union for them. You have union of employers. You have NECA is union of where employers join union of employers. Why do they want to do that? They know that the only way workers can be defended appropriately and defend the workers appropriately. And that is they create power, have unions. And there are laws, a specific registry called, and there are certain requirements that you must have to meet because you are not a worker. You are a meddlesome interloper. We are doing. So Nigerian workers have right to join unions, and it is only the union that in our laws that will protect them.
To join transport unions who have even many times called on almost being pressured to join this union. How do the unions address it? That a person's refusal.
I don't think it is true.
Okay.
They have to secure a pass. You cannot then come and say you're not a member of union, but you must use that pass.
The operations of these parks.
Most of the time, a conversation between the government and the union has taken place. They will give you their conditions. And so you have to meet their conditions to be able to. But they are not our member, you pay us 15 naira. So it is your choice to either say, okay, I want to become a member. To pay 15 naira, fine. If you want to pay 2 naira, please.
Do unions really have on a private sector, if you have any at all?
Many people are ignorant of. Majority of the National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees, private union in the bank, private unions. So you have more private unions than public unions. The law was passed. The law was the one you call the industrial union unions. The industrial, what it means is that Nigeria has industrial sectors. You have the ones in the industries in Nigeria. That's how unions, for example, Nigerians do either in food union they like without benefits. And so it is only the union that understands the issue that can protect that worker. That is why the union
established.
My sister, I will tell you something. That's what some people will say. Bet you to be part of governance. That is the problem. We cycle. Like, for example, they want you to be on the menu. They want to eat you. They will not want you to be at the table. And that is why we keep on insisting that we must be part of the entire 5 bus stops of 144. So this enables us to work together. Like the one you have, the National Employment Policy. It was generated on a tripartite basis. You have National Industrial Relations Policy. It was crafted on a tripartite basis. The laws in Nigeria, the labor laws and trade union acts and basis. NSITF, an institution created by on tripartite basis, National Directorate of Production. So you have a whole lot of institutions made or generated as a result of the engagement of the unions with employers and government. That's why we have problems. So we have in terms of implementation, that's one thing. But when we're not allowed, we try to create alternatives. So that we will bring in the governance partner to the issue of every member.
As we round off this conversation, generally the union these challenges, what is your biggest issue in trying to fight challenge?
I've said we are using which is a framework who are the level of the state. But there are also those who also try to use collective power because we're not we organize action. We are doing that in lobbying, involved in advocacy. We're involved in educating our people, both in sensitizing our people at all times, so that they will know what is happening, and so that government will not be able to deceive them. We're doing who are hold that. I know. I have seen the payroll of